All right, now we're going to mount the eyes right here. For that, we'll grab the beam from our parts cassette and get everything prepped up and ready for installation. Our two poles and the 4 rivets. To make riveting easier, we laid the boat on its side. I'd suggest positioning it this way for better access. Completely disassemble it and flip the beam individually on a workbench or a similar sturdy surface, and then set the rivets in place there. Let's move over here to our poles. You won't need any silicone for this. I'll just get this ready for us now. I've placed the nut here in between to ensure we have proper contact and our rivet stays securely in place. So we'll proceed with the sewing process. So now we're aiming to complete our beam preparation, and to achieve that, we're going to position our switching blocks right here and over there, while also ensuring our clamp for the furling line is securely attached in its designated spot. It typically comes with a fitting already installed as part of the preparation. And for that, you'll need to gather and prepare the following items in advance. First, you'll need an 8mm wrench, which we've got here as a ratchet tool, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Let's begin with our furling line clamp. I'll position it approximately 4 fingers width away from the mast base. And here, I'll just give it a quick initial tighten for the time being. And tight. We want to position our switching blocks right here. For that, we'll grab our screw pattern over in this spot now. And then we take the screw pattern, go into the opening right here. Leave it slightly sticking out on the outer edge, and then we carefully shoot it all the way in place, securing it firmly. Then we carefully open up here. The retaining ring. Gently pull out the pin and position it securely in this precise and exact spot, ensuring it's perfectly aligned. And securely fasten here. The plate with the screw and the fork. Here, I strongly recommend you to tighten the fork firmly, making sure that it points straight downward for the correct and stable alignment. Then it will be significantly easier for you later with the pin. And the pulley block when attaching them securely. Make sure to tighten that securely and properly. And then we take our switching block and our spring. Let's try it here once. Check if it's properly tight and secure. And then we press this in here like so. We grab our pen again. And now it's already fixed in place like this. And now you'll need to do the little fiddly work once more. To reattach the spring ring down here properly and securely, and tight. This is what our completed switching block looks like with the spring. It operates perfectly without any issues at all. Now we're doing the exact same thing on the other side. Next up, we'll take care of the mast suspension. We'll grab our line for the mast suspension here, and we'll also take our micro block with us. Then we go up. As you can see, the mast is now back on the boat once again. And then we bring it up here, right to this exact spot. Our mast attachment. For that, we first take this line through the loop here and tie a bowline knot onto our other pin here. With this bowline here, really make sure it's tight, so give it a little extra pull so it doesn't come loose like when we have this here. We go down to our fair lead, and here now it's important to take a hand's width and a little bit more, like 1.5 hand widths, and then you want your micro block here. Why do we do that? The line naturally gets tension, and through the tension itself, it pulls downward, and we definitely don't want it to slip or lose its grip. That's why we secure it properly, ensuring it stays in place even under pressure. This setup gives us the control we need and keeps everything stable so we can focus on the task without worrying about the line coming undone. That the line goes all the way down here. That's why. Leave a bit more space here. So let's go over it once more. That looks good now. Then here, double check again to make sure the bowline is properly closed, and you can just trim off the rest of the line. Good. Now we've got our spinnaker halyard ready, and we'll guide it through the boom with the snap shackle. Make sure it's secure before moving forward. First, the drawing we have here with the corresponding markings through the micro block, and then bring it back under the fair lead again. And then we can take our sheet all the way down. Now we've reached the beam and carefully guide it through our switching block positioned right here. What knot you use doesn't matter. I'm making a reef knot now. The important thing is just that the halyard doesn't get away from you. That would definitely be bad. So now we're ready to attach our whisker pole. For this, we'll need to grab the spring pin from our base kit, along with 2 forged double trapeze shackles, and also the Padoon tensioners from our line set to get everything set up properly. So now, let's go ahead and step right in here. Let's place this one here for now. And then I crawl down here once. And attach the spring stretcher right here in its proper position securely. Then we'll carefully align our wire in this exact spot as needed. Take our shackle and secure it firmly here, making sure it's tightened thoroughly so it doesn't come loose or shift at all. It can definitely be tightened later with pliers if needed, and then we take the first. The first line, we attach it here with a bowline knot. And then we proceed with our line to complete the setup. Through the lashing, and here again through our loop. And then let's leave it like that for now. It's also fine to already do a half beat because the adjustment of the backstay comes later when we attach the Gennaker. No need to worry about fine-tuning the backstay just yet, as that step happens after everything is securely in place. So, I fastened the second side in the exact same manner, and now the next step involves tightening the anti-torsion line to ensure everything stays securely in place. To attach the anti-torsion line, we'll start by first securing the furler. To do this, we'll now open the shackle here. And secure it here. This is where you can later grab the pliers to tighten the shackle properly. And ensure it's firmly secured so nothing can loosen or come off at all during use. Then you guide it backward. Then we take the ball from your set, along with the swivel and the anti-torsion line. Move forward once or head toward the boat, and then retrieve our Gennaker halyard to proceed with the next step of the setup process smoothly and efficiently, ensuring everything is properly aligned and secure. And go back to the game tree. Take our ball. Then I'll grab the ball instead. Through the Gennaker halyard through, and now it's important here that we secure our swivel with a bowline knot, carefully ensuring the bowline itself is kept as short as possible to make sure the tension is applied later. On the anti-torsion line and not on the line that's attached to the Gennaker halyard itself. Tighten it properly again. And then here is the ball. That's the first step. Next, we take our anti-torsion line here, and we'll notice there are two ends to work with, a small hole and a larger one, which for me measures about 2 fingers wide. This wider hole is the one that needs to go into the swivel now. Make sure it's securely in place before moving on to the next step. This ensures the tension is properly distributed and avoids any unnecessary strain on the line, keeping everything stable and efficient. Then you open it up here once. Fill this through here. Now I'm attaching and securing the lower end, specifically the small hole of the anti-torsion line onto the feeder here. Go ahead and open up the feeder right at this spot. And then we go to our mast, where I've already pulled the other end of the halyard through the swivel clamp. And now I begin the process of carefully tensioning and firmly securing the anti-torsion line in its proper position to ensure stability. Here's what's important now. Before I pull it all the way up, to be able to adjust it, the anti-torsion line has to be all the way at the top. That means the ball is resting against the playbow. All right, now that we've properly tensioned our anti-torsion line, the next step is to ensure there's some rotation capability in the anti-torsion line. We need enough tension so that with our hand, we can rotate the anti-torsion line about 45 degrees. You can see here now that there's way too much tension on it, and to balance that out, we need to loosen the backstay a bit while carefully ensuring that our whisker pole perfectly centered and properly aligned in the right position. You can see here now that it is being pulled to the port side, so first we need to loosen it here. It's a bit of a patience game, but once you've got a well-tuned jib, it's obviously the best for you because then you can turn and maneuver it very well, and that's the goal. So now we've set our anti-torsion stops, we're centered, and the anti-torsion stops are positioned at a 45-degree angle. This ensures everything stays balanced and aligned, making it easier to control and adjust as needed. And now we're loosening our halyard again and attaching our Furling Gennaker sail in the next step. Then, we're opening up our swivel once again, carefully and slowly loosening the bolt right there. Watch the spring so it doesn't get lost and the bolt. Then, we'll pull out our Furling Gennaker. And in the next step, now we're going to place the Gennaker here into the swivel. We have a Gennaker with a zipper here, so first we need to open the zipper. And in the next step, I'll show you how we properly secure the Gennaker here at the top.